Good morning, friends. In this video, we are going to discuss about the principle of superposition. Principle of superposition states that if there are, so there is no such direct principle, but I'm just trying to frame it in my own way. That if there are more forces acting on a point or charge, then their accumulated effect is the vector sum of all the forces acting on that point. Okay, so you will not find this definition anyway. I just framed it randomly. So here it says that suppose I have a charge q1, q2, q3, q4, q5, and I want to find out the force exerted by these charges on this one, because this charge experiences the force due to all other charges. Same way, this charge also experiences the force due to all other charges. So this is true for all the case, but for simplification, I'm just trying to understand the force on this due to the charge q1, and I assume that all of them are positive. You can assume them negative also, because the vector addition doesn't just ignore all these things. It just takes all account of the vector features, where they are moving away in that direction or moving inside this direction. This doesn't bother you at all. So for sake of convenience, so I just assume that 1, 2, 3, these are positive and these two are negative. So the force on one due to this repulsive, it will be acting on this. So I can say that the force on Q due to 1 is K times Q1 over R1 square. I call it as R1. Same way, the force on this Q only, but due to this charge, will be F Q2 is Q2 over R2 square. This is my R2. Similarly, the force Q3 will be K times Q3 over R3 square. Now Q4, the force on Q due to this charge K is Q4 upon R4 square. And then I'll find the overall force, because there are so many. So I'll write the force on Q is, since all these are vector quantity, it is F Q1 plus F Q2 plus F Q3. This one should look like Q2 plus F Q3, like that. So this is the idea of the principle of superposition, that the force acting on this, force acting on a particular charge due to various other charges, can be found as the vector sum of the individual forces acting on the individual charges onto the charge under consideration. I think I made myself clear. So to explain this, I just take another example, but first I have to clean the screens. Just give me attention. So suppose if I take example that I have one pentagon, or take a square also, because pentagon I think will be difficult to draw because I have already drawn wrong one. So this is ABCD is a quadrilateral, and at the center or at any point, suppose here, if I have a charge Q and here everyone I put 1 coulomb of this one, then I have to find the force on this Q due to this. Suppose it is considering all the charges same, so this will be acting into this direction. So this one will be acting in this direction, this one will be acting in this direction, and this one will be acting in this direction, something kind of that. And that we can find using the idea of the resolution of the forces. How? Suppose now I bring the whole thing in my coordinate terminologies like this. This is my x-axis, y-axis, this is x, O and x dash, this is y. Suppose if you have a force here, F, then you can find its horizontal, suppose I call it F1. So, and this is inclined at an angle theta, so this force will be Fx, sorry, Fx1 I write, Fx1 will be F1 cos theta, and this will act along this direction, and if you find its vertical component, this will be F1 sine theta. Now if you have another force here in this direction, then this is F2, and this angle you can take it as theta, but if you want to consider the angle from here, there is also a problem, alpha 1 alpha. So when you draw a perpendicular here, then by this angle will become pi by 2 minus alpha, and if I use this angle to find out this component, then this one will be F2. For opposite, this will be sine, means perpendicular, the vertical part will be sine of pi by 2 minus alpha, so this will become cos alpha, and here this will become F2 sine alpha. Now just see, if this force, the horizontal component is acting in this direction, and this force horizontal component is acting in opposite direction, so the resultant of this, like if this one is greater, then the resultant of these two will be acting in this direction, and if this one is greater, because this here F1 both are going upward, so here the F2 cos alpha and F1 sin alpha will be the total vertical component, that is we can say Fy is F1 sine theta plus this vertical, both are going upward, that is F2 cos alpha, and the horizontal component of this cos is what? That is the total of Fx. So I write here F1 cos theta plus F2, because this is going in this direction, so that will be negative, minus F2 sine alpha, like that. But I don't need to write this one negative, because the theta trigonometry, like when this angle is obtuse angle, so automatically this value will become positive and the negative. That's why I will write only as F1 cos theta and F2 sine alpha, because my alpha is already in the proper direction, taking anti-clockwise measure from the positive direction of x-axis, and you know that in the first quadrant all t ratios are positive. Here sine is only positive, here tan is only positive, and then here cos is only positive. So even if my force is in this component, and suppose then the alpha is obtuse angle, so definitely depending on the alpha, this part F2 sine alpha will automatically become this F1, sorry F1, this F1, so no, this is, I think I have written wrong, this is Fx part. Okay, Fx part is F1 cos theta, this is fine. F2 sin alpha. Okay. So now these two, F2 sin alpha, because when you're trying to finding out this angle alpha, pi minus alpha, this will become, you have to write negative. But if you do not use this, if you use this alpha, then you don't have to mention. I just try to say that only thing that first you have to resolve the whole thing, find the resultant of the Fx, resultant of the Fy, Then you draw one right angle triangle where the one component will go along fx, one will go along fy, and this resultant will be fx square plus fy square. So you know that the coordinate geometry also, these two are positive positive, these two are positive negative. So same way the component, if the force is acting in this, so both the horizontal will go on the left side and the vertical will go down side. And here the horizontal is positive and the vertical is also positive. Here horizontal is negative, vertical is positive. Here horizontal is negative, vertical is also negative. Here if the force comes in this segment, then the horizontal is positive and the vertical is negative. So it means all the forces will be broken down into their respective horizontal component and the vertical component. Then you have to find the one resultant for the horizontal and the one resultant for the vertical, and that will be plotted using this, and this F will give you the magnitude of these two forces. And if you are interested in finding the direction of the resultant, then you can find this angle. Suppose this is beta, then tan beta, because this tan beta will become Fy over Fx. Now the same thing, instead of principle of superposition just for forces, if I use the principle of superposition for electric fields, then again I have to clear the screen just to give you 3 minutes of briefing and you'll be very clear about the principle. The same way, now suppose I have different charges q1, q2, q3 and q4, and at any point if I am interested in finding out the resultant electric field, then I have to find, suppose I call this one as the electric field due to this will be given as E1. Electric field due to the charge 1 is E1 is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 upon r1. It's where you want to consider. Suppose it's taking a center, I say here at this point I want, then this radius is r1, so this is r1 square. Now again I am considering this point, so taking this one, and you have to draw a circle like this to find the electric field at this point. If they are all positive, then the force will be like this. So E2 will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q2 over r2 square. This is my r2. Then again at the same point I want to find the influence of this. So using this as center, I draw another one like this, and the electric field at this point due to this q3, assuming that this distance is r3, so I have E3 is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q3 over r3 square. And since same thing we can do for the q4, so now my circle will be something like that. So that will be E4 is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q4 upon r4 square. And then the resultant electric field will be the vector sum of E1 plus E2 plus E3 plus E4. This is as simple as this. This is all about the principle of superposition. The same thing you can apply in wherever you are finding out the things, like in the waves also principle of superposition there to find out the resultant displacement. In the magnetic field also you can find the principle, using the principle of superposition to find the net magnetic field at a point when that point is under the influence of two or more different magnetic fields caused by different magnets. So this is all. Thank you very much. Just subscribe to our channel and keep asking questions in the comment sections if you are interested in going deep into the physics concept.